Hey guys, this is Hannibal. So this week was pretty good. I've just come back from picking up quite a big of a lot. I had $254 at the beginning of this week, and I haven't bought anything. But today I spent $230 on a relatively good lot. So I'm down to $24 left. I'll be keeping about maybe a third of this and selling the rest. But as you see in the name of the video, it is a Nintendo lot. It's basically something from nearly every generation, at least up to about the year 2000. So first of all, a DMG Nintendo Game Boy. The screen is not that good. I would say that's probably about a 3 out of 10, maybe a 4. But no matter what, these are still relatively sought after here in Norway. You can get maybe $50 or $60 in this condition. And the first game is DuckTales. So let's see how. I haven't tested a game with it yet. I just tested that. So the sound is fine. Buttons are responsive. Just kill that sound. The screen doesn't look that bad actually when you're playing games. So this is not a terrible condition. It's not good either. I'll give it about a 4 out of 10, maybe a 4.5. But this will be sold. I will probably get about $50 for this maybe, depending on if I do bundle it with the games. It is DuckTales. I'm pretty sure that's about a $20 game here in Norway. Next game is Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. It's also a quite valuable Norwegian game in Norway. It's probably about a $20 game. It's a really nice label on it. So you see that these have been kept in their protective cases. So this is good. I'll be keeping this for sure. Probably the most sold game on Nintendo. It's the Game Boy. I mean, it's Tetris. I see here that the region on it is NOE, which means it's German. But let's see if that has any kind of effect on the language of the game. I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure that they all just had the same language. So it's English on the beginning. Yeah, one player, A type, B type. Yeah, so it's even written game type and music type. So even though it is a German region, it still holds about the same value as a Norwegian version would be. So it's about a $5 or $10 game. I won't be keeping it. I'll be bundling that with the system. Another game, let's see the region here, hope it's not German. Now this is the Scandinavian region of Mario and Yoshi. Probably about another $20 game here. So it's good. I'm happy so far. The games are quite good actually for being a Game Boy lot. And the last game that was in here is Super Mario Land. It's also in really good condition. It's the European version, so it's English all around, but that's going to be a keeper as well. And also another thing that was in here was this Game Boy Pocket. It looks okay. The screen is better than the original Game Boy, but let's try it out with a game. Have the sound. Yeah, sounds good. Let's see how the buttons are responding. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. Screen is not good though. The screen's about another 6, maybe a 5 out of 10. But the 2 Game Boys, that's probably about $100 on the return. If I bundle that with Tetris and maybe, for instance, Yoshi with that, I'm not sure. I might just sell it alone, but I'm pretty confident I'll get about $100 in Norway for these two here. So this is good. It's a good start. Remember, pay $230 on this lot, so about half of the money will be returned on that. So jump into the next system. Let's see here. Sorry guys. So it's going to be a Nintendo 64. Pretty sure this is the Atomic Purple controller. Joystick is moderate, probably about a 5 out of 10, but it's okay. These controllers in Norway, you get about $25 or $30 for them because they are a part of the Fantastic series, so happy with that. A normal red controller, joystick maybe a 8 out of 10, that's good. No cuts or anything in the cord, so this is fine. I'll be also keeping this because I always have about 10 controllers for each system on hand, just because every now and then I'll need them, or I will come across a system that has that color but without the control, and I'll try to bundle it. So far so good. Another standard grey controller. Joystick's probably about a 6 or a 5. I do have the system, so this controller will probably be going with the system. And another grey controller. This is a better joystick, probably about a 8, maybe. So yeah, I'll bundle one of those with a system. And speaking about the system, it's got the normal amount of scuffs you're expecting. Unfortunately, it is just the jumper pack. It doesn't have the expansion pack. But yeah, it's fine. In Norway, if you have, and the reset button isn't locked either, so that's going to be good. I'm most definitely sure this is going to work. They always do. So a controller with a system and the cords. I won't show you pictures of the cords, everyone's seen them, but a controller and the system in Norway, you get about $50 for it. So out of what's being sold so far, I'm going to get $150 back on the $230 investment, so it's looking really good. I'm keeping 3 controllers, keeping some games. But let's jump into the Nintendo 64 games. All the wires as well were first party, so there's none of those cheap Chinese things. First game, Zelda Ocarina of Time. I never got into this series actually. I was kind of embarrassed to be a retro game collector with actually not playing the Zelda games. It's just I was just never introduced to it when I was growing up. But this is probably going to be known throughout time as the best game that came out on the 64, and I think also I've heard a few places that it is the best game ever made. So in Norway, it's about a $30 to $35 game. It's a good one to have. I'll keep it for a little while. I'm going to have to play it. I can't call myself a collector and not have played Ocarina of Time. Perfect Dark. Label is a little bit scratched, but nothing that looks bad. It's also supposedly a really good game. I didn't play this one at all growing up. I played a little bit in hindsight, but it's nowhere near the game that, well, if you compare it to GoldenEye, which it often does, I would say GoldenEye is a better game. I tested it for about half an hour. I didn't really find it that good, but it's about a $20 to $25 game here in Norway. Absolutely the most common game in the 64, Super Mario 64. It sells for about $25. I have my copy from as I was a kid, so I'm going to be selling this one. So that's definitely going in the sale pile. About another $20 to $25. Super Smash Bros. Excited to see this game because it's quite clean, so I'll be keeping it. But another good thing about this game is it's easily about a $45 to $50 game here in Norway. It just sells so fast, and you can try your luck, maybe selling it for 60 or 70, but just put it out for 50 and it's gone within 2 or 3 days time. So happy with that one. That's really good. It looks actually like there's a little bit of yellowing here on this Perfect Dark, but no one will really care about that. It's only a super collector like me who gets annoyed with that yellowing. Another copy of Super Smash Bros. I'm gonna get rid of this marker here. This is a telephone number from when we had stationary telephones in Norway. Now everyone's gone over to mobile phones, so that's no one's gonna know what this number means. It's definitely probably disconnected, but I'm gonna get rid of that. I have like some rubbing alcohol. I can just get rid of that. So $50 there. Another person who's owned a game and written their name on it, I'll block it out. But it's WWF Attitude Era. I have not played this game. I usually played Raw is War, I believe, was the one I owned as a kid. It's a little mark here, but it's not really going to be a big problem. I will be selling it because I mostly collect complete games, but maybe bundle it with a system. Beetle Adventure Racing, maybe some kind of little scuff here. Not sure about that. Like a little lion or something. In Norway, it's about a $5 or $10 game. Same with a wrestling game. It's maybe if I put these with a system, because the system in Norway will get you about $50 or $60. If I put these two with it, I'll probably put it for like 70, and it will sell quicker. Even if I put it, I might also put it with Mario and sell them all for 100. So that will be actually not Mario 64, not Super Mario Sunshine. No, not Super Smash Bros. I'll sell Super Smash Bros. On itself, and maybe sell the other 3 games with a system and control for 100. But one of my favorite games on the 64, GoldenEye. I have played this game so many times, and even though I probably have about 100 hours in this game, I could never beat every level on the last hard setting. I think it was called Secret Agent, maybe. I could never do it. There was one mission where you're like at this control panel where you had to fight guys coming downstairs while you were protecting the woman, and I could never do it. So I'll be keeping it though. And the last game, Diddy Kong Racing. Some people say this is a better game than Mario Kart, but it's definitely not when it comes to resale value, because in Norway this is a $30 game. Mario Kart 64 is probably about a $45 to $50 game, but I have this from my youth. I own this game, so this will be getting sold, and like I said, it's about a $30 game. So already now, if I sell everything, I think I'll get back the $230, but we still have quite a few things to get through in this pile, and I'll be keeping, as I said, all these games and the Game Boy games. So this is actually a really, really good deal. Just a zapper for the NES. I don't have an old school TV, so I won't be able to test this, but I have seen these sell in Norway for about $25 each time. I'll have to sell mine untested though, so I'll put it out for about 15 or 20, but it'll sell quick. These, even if people don't play them, they just have them as like some kind of, just to have some ornament, because it is cool, and basically everyone who's played NES will recognize this from some part of their life, so yep, should be able to sell that quite easy. I won't show you the cords as well, because that's who's interested in that, but a super yellowed NES controller. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the flame retardant that's in the plastic, that if it gets exposed to sunlight, I think it turns this yellowish color over time. I used to think that it became this way because of this people that smoked, but I've heard um, I've heard a lot more from other guys that it has something to do with the flame retardant in it. So yeah, it's ugly, but I'll just bundle it with a system. Another controller that's also yellowed, so that sucks, but I'll probably bundle them together with a system. Alright, let's see here. Nintendo NES. It's a Scandinavian version. These, basically in Europe we have the system which is referred to as the PAL system, and it's divided into PAL A and PAL B. In most of Europe it's PAL B, but they are divided into regions as well. In Scandinavia we have the SCN region. In Germany it's NOE, which is Nintendo of Europe. In like Holland or the Netherlands they have HOL. In France they have FRA. In Germany as well they have the DAS. In Italy they have ITA. So there's a lot of different regions to collect for or to be aware of when you're buying games, but it doesn't really matter. If it's a PAL B game, you'll be able to play on every region. And of course, the most sold game ever, probably, Super Mario Bros. With the Duck Hunt. It's a $10 game in Norway. There's just so many of these flying around, so it's a bit of a shame that this also has been discolored, this system, because if it was nice and white, I would have been able to get about $60 for it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this game, I'm going to throw in the controllers, and I'm going to sell the whole thing for $50. And I'm not going to clean the pins or anything, or the pin connector. I'm just going to sell it as it is. And for $50, someone will pick it up. Someone might even pick it up to try to flip it, try to get like 70 or 80 for it, but I'm not interested in that because I think I have about 10 of these just sitting around my house somewhere, but this is going to be a part of the collection videos, so it'll be sold for $50. And also, let's see here, sorry guys. Also got a nice white Super Nintendo system. It is also a Scandinavian version, and these are, if you're going to be selling to someone in Norway, you probably want to be selling the Scandinavian version, because there's a lot of people here that collect Scandinavian games, and if they're going to buy a console, they'll want a Scandinavian console. It doesn't have anything to say whatsoever if it's Scandinavian or French or German, but it's just these three letters here that people are getting hung up on. So unfortunately there was no controller that followed this, but I will come over a controller every now and then. So with a control and the cords, this is about a $70 system here in Norway. Also, a part of that lot, Super Mario All-Stars. It's also Scandinavian edition. This is not very nice. It's got some yellowing on the back. Yeah, I'll be selling that for about $25. So maybe if I do find the cords and the controller, I might have a controller lying around. I'll put this out for like $100, and if someone offers me about 80 or 90, I'll probably take it. So at the moment I haven't been counting actually, but I think I'm going to be able to sell these things for maybe $350, everything that's on the table. I'm going to keep a good amount of games, so I'm really happy with this pickup. I've decided to try and give my pickups a ranking, like an A to F ranking. But hang on, I just see there's one more thing that I actually didn't notice when I picked up this system. There's a Game Shark in here for the Nintendo 64. I'm not quite sure what these do. I've never owned one. I've only seen them. I don't think they're valuable. I think they're probably about $10 or $20, but maybe they're used to play. There's definitely a game that's going to be put on the top here. I'm going to have to research this. So, a Game Shark, that will also be sold, probably about $10, $20, I don't know. But as I'm looking at this, let's say about 100 here, 50 here, 50 on the 64, probably a good 100 on the games. So yeah, we're up at about $350 to $400 in profit. So as I said, I'm going to be trying to be ranking these pickups, and I've had a lot of pickups that have been better than this one, but this is pretty good. So I'll give this on the American grading scale, I'll give this about a B, because it cost me $230. I'm going to keep a good amount of games, and I'm going to sell the rest for about $300. So it's a great deal, but it's not like the epic deals that you sometimes come across and hear about. But I'll give it a B. I would buy this every single day of the week if I got this offer. So yeah, I'm happy with it. So I'm going to have to start selling now, because I think I only have about $15 left in the collection. And as what usually happens to me, if I start picking up good systems, I just go on a roll. So do not be surprised if the next 2 or 3 weeks I'm picking up really good lots. So I'm going to have to sell this fast, get in some money, and have some money to keep buying. So if you like this video, guys, give me a comment or a like or a subscribe. I can guarantee you there'll be more games on the horizon. So this is Hannibal signing off.